Hey, it's your girl, Carla Renata. Welcome back to another episode 137 of the Curvy Critic with me, Carla Renata, as your host. So if this is your first time joining me, please give me 2 big old thumbs up on YouTube to let me know you were here. If you're on Facebook, hit me with that like button. And this is what we do here. Every Sunday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, I come to y'all with film reviews and interviews from those above and below the line in the film industry. And I always start the episode off with what's been going on in my life for the week. So let me hit that for a second. And let's see who's joined me thus far. Brandon, of course, Brandon is here. And you had a great birthday last Friday. I'm so happy to hear that. Yay, happy 26th birthday. All right, so my week went like this. I partnered up with Warner Brothers and participated in a Twitter party for Beetlejuice, which was on Apple TV, streaming on Apple TV, which is one of my favorite Halloween picks because it's kind of Halloween light, and so am I. So I took this crazy selfie, Snapchat selfie with the Beetlejuice thing around my face, which I thought was kind of cute, but I thought y'all enjoy it too. But I did that, and it was hosted by Jodie Sweetin. Y'all know her from Full House. It was a lot of fun. They sent us some snacks. I had lots of candy, which I couldn't eat that or I wouldn't have a tooth in my head, and some popcorn. So me and my mom, my mom is my streaming partner. So me and her sat down and we let that go for a minute. I think I got enough light on me. I have my vote necklace on, but I'll get to that in a second. I also participated in a round table with Sterling K. Brown and Susan Kelechi Watson from the NBC series This Is Us. It was Ashley Dunn, Jandra LaBeouf, and my brother from The Hot Zone. The 3 of us did a round table courtesy of NBC with Susan and Sterling K. Brown. I have that coming up for you in a little bit. I also wanted to remind y'all, my Star Wars peeps, that the Mandalorian season 2 is now available on Disney Plus, y'all. The Mandalorian season 2 is now available on Disney Plus. If you do not have a subscription, I'll tell y'all, hit that free trial all day long if you don't have one, so that you can watch The Mandalorian season 2 to hear all about the child, Baby Yoda, and the shenanigans that go on there. And I know I told y'all last week as I signed off that I was going on Fox 11 LA to do a little Halloween action with my girls, Nikki Novak, Amanda Salas, and Gray Drake. Well, that aired. So if you go to my Instagram page, there is a link there where you can see that interview in its totality. And we basically did a boo it or view it. That was me dressed as Maleficent. I did my own makeup. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed doing that. And that aired, and it was a lot of fun. It's like I think it's like a little 2-minute piece. It's really short. So check that out if you get a chance. And again, y'all, every election, they always say this is the most important election of your lifetime. This election really is the most important election of your lifetime. I've got my Resist shirt on, Resist and Run. And I also have on my Michelle Obama vote necklace. I hope y'all can see that. To remind y'all, November 3rd, this Tuesday, is Super Tuesday. It's Super Tuesday. You have to get out and vote. You cannot complain if you're not voting. If you voted early, like me and my mom and so many of my friends, peers, and constituents did, good on you. Let's hope that our vote gets counted properly. And if you have not voted yet and you don't trust the mail system, or you don't trust these ballot boxes that they had out because they were setting the ballot boxes on fire and had all kinds of little crazy shenanigans across the country, then get your behind up early on November 3rd. Or if you can get to a voting poll place before November 3rd and cast your vote. As long as you are in that line before they say the cutoff time is, your vote will be counted. So please vote. And I'm saying this now because, child, we don't know what the world gonna look like come November 3rd. I don't know if I'll be doing the Curvy Critic next Sunday or not. But we'll if you see me here, then you know it's a good thing. But I just wanted to get that word out to you and remind you, please, please, please do that. All right, let's get into these reviews and what the show is going to be for today. I have a lot of interviews for you. I have the ladies from the Cat Craft Legacy. I have Nicholas Galitz from the Craft Legacy. I have that round table with Sterling and Susan. And I also have an interview with Forest Whitaker and David Talbert from the new Disney holiday, I'm going to call it Disney Holiday Classic, Jingle Jangle, which I will do a review on in a few weeks because the embargo hasn't lifted on the review, but the embargo has lifted on these interviews. So we'll get to that. So let me just say that Let Him Go. I don't know why I said let it go. Let Him Go is a Focus Features film that will be streaming on November 6th. And basically, it's written and directed by Thomas Bazucha. Bazucha, rather. Why did I say bazooka like the gum? Bazucha. It is starring Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, two of my favorites, and they are husband and wife. He's a retired sheriff, and she's his wife, you know, she's a housewife, so to speak. And what happens is they lose their son. And while they're grieving over the loss of their son, their former daughter-in-law and her new husband skip town. It's alarming because there's some shenanigans going on with the new husband, including a little domestic abuse action happening. And these grandparents are really not trying to see their grandson raised in such a despicable, horrible, negative way. So of course they go after him and they go to try to save him from the shenanigans that are his new family. And when I tell you, ooh, it's a trip. But the person, I love me some Kevin Costner and I love me some Diane Lane, but the person who steals this movie is Leslie Manville as Blanche Weeboy. And this is based on a Larry Foster book by the same name. So it's pretty much in line with the book with a few changes and shifts here and there because, you know, there's only so much screen time that you have. But honey, Leslie Manville as Blanche Weeboy, she is worth the watch of that film alone because she was diabolically delicious. She was so evil. I thought, oh my goodness, how can somebody be that evil and get away with it? She gave me life all day long. I loved her. So again, you guys, that film is Let Him Go. It will be not streaming on Focus Features. It is produced by Focus Features. It's directed by Thomas Bazucha, and it will start streaming video on demand on November 6th. Now, like I mentioned at the top of the show, myself and a couple of journalists sat down with Sterling K. Brown and Susan Kelechi Watson, who play Randall and Beth on This Is Us. We talked to them collectively. I think this interview that I cut together for y'all is about 5 minutes of the whole roundtable, which I put up on my YouTube channel. But this 5-minute excerpt are the questions that I specifically asked Sterling and Susan. And it deals with, you know, everybody has been grappling and struggling with trying to go back to work that are in the entertainment industry because it's so vital in times like this to be entertained. People love being entertained. They really do. And they love having something to put a smile on their face in the midst of chaos and dis-ease. So we sat down and we talked to them about what it was like to go back to work, you know, post Black Lives Matter, post, you know, COVID-19, what that was like, because Randall's character is a Black man that is adopted by a white family, and what that discussion and what that felt like, what that looked like personally and professionally. So I want you guys to take a look and a listen to this interview, this roundtable interview, courtesy of NBC Universal Pictures, with Susan Kelechi Watson, my HU Bison sister, and my good St. Louis friend, Sterling K. Brown. I work over at Superstore, and I know that it was really weird when I went back to work after, you know, everything had happened, BLM and the coronavirus and all that. And I'm just wondering for y'all, what was the vibe on set after going back to shoot this particular season? Because I'm sure it was really different.
And, you know, in terms of, you know, BLM and things, like we as a group, as a community, especially the cast, had come together a few times over the summer over Zoom, and you know, just gathered, just took space with one another, you know, and And I think that was something that was a beautiful thing, out of respect for what was happening. And, with the knowledge that nobody has any answers right now, but we're going to take space together and just know that, you mean something to me, and you know what I mean? And that's it. There's no answers, and sometimes that's it, and that means a lot. So.
Yeah. No, so we were 6 months or 7 months out since we finished the season and the beginning of this season. And more than anything, Carla, it just felt like a joy to be back at work. Under whatever circumstances you had to do it, to make sure you did it safely. This is my other family, and it's a joy to tell the story with them and to be in their presence. It felt like being at home. You know what I'm saying? As an actor, being on a stage or a sound stage or whatever, it's kind of like sanctuary for your boy. And to be able to tell stories is like our ministry. And to be able to do that again is truly a gift from God. So that's more than anything else. Like, I was just happy to be back at work. Just getting used to that isolation, right? And then for me, when I saw what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, I mean, I really had this feeling of like, oh, wait, there's still time for racism. Like, everybody's like, we're trying to keep everybody alive. Like, can that go away for a sec? Like, is there no time in which that doesn't exist in the world? And they're like, nah, bro, it's still here. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and then you hear about Breonna, and then you see George, and it's like, oh man, like, you felt under assault on multiple fronts. And my wife and I, there are times in which we would cry, and my oldest son would be like, you okay, man? I'm like, I'm gonna be all right, man. Like, I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? But like, you gotta feel it in order to move through it.
And I know that you are a producer of my HU Bison's project, Ta-Nehisi Coates, Between the World and Me, right? So you're doing something, and you've been producing for a minute. You produced Premature in 2019. That was at Sundance. I want to know what inspired you particularly to jump behind Ta-Nehisi Coates in this particular project, especially in light of what's going on right now.
It was just that. It literally came out of what was going on right now. And, I played instigator with Ta-Nehisi and Camila, who had previously done this for the stage. And sort of instigated us doing it for streaming. And what would that look like? A reimagining of it, that it wouldn't be just, the reading of it, but how would we incorporate, other aspects to make this a film that could last and speak to the conversation. And it just came out of seeing like Ta-Nehisi's book being that on everybody's playlist for like how to deal and begin to understand this. It was on white allyship lists and all this kind of stuff. And anything that I wanted to say, I realized he had already said it in the book, you know what I mean? And said it more eloquently than I could say it. So that was the major push for the project. And just to do something for all of us, man, like it just really felt like this for everybody, this for everybody. This is for people who've been through it or dealing with it, who don't understand it, trying to understand it. It's just for everybody. And then to work with my HU, are you HU? You said you're HU Bison.
Yes, girl, Howard University all day long, Bison, what?
All day, every day. So, then to work with my HU family on it, then, it's all those things coming together. It just is this is a project that's very much on my heart, close to my heart, in my heart, all those things.
Thank you.
All right, bye, Carl.
Bye. Yeah. Mama said, hey. So that's a private joke because I met Sterling at an after party for the Twilight Zone, and my mother was there. And so every time I see Sterling or I tell Mom that I'm going to talk to Sterling, she's like, tell Sterling I said, hey. So there's that. But I want to thank once again the NBC Universal team, Susan Kelechi Watson, Sterling K. Brown, and This Is Us for giving them the time off to speak to us about that. Like I said, that full interview is up on my YouTube channel. Now, I saw the Craft Legacy. Now, I saw the original Craft, the one with Rachel True in it. That one was written and directed by Andrew Fleming. Rachel True was in it. Nev Campbell from Party of Five, who was a really big deal at the time, was in it. And I really loved that movie then. So when they said there was a sequel coming out called The Craft Legacy, I was like, what? I have got to see that, and see it. I did. The sequel actually is written and directed by Zoe Lister-Jones. So that's a big change from the original, which was written by a dude. And because it's written and directed by a woman, in this version, the girls stay united as opposed to divided like they did in the first version. And there's an added LGBTQ character as the male lead in the form of Nicholas Galitzine, sorry, who I have an interview with him as well. And what I didn't like is that they made his character conflicted, because when there was a spell cast on him, all of a sudden he became straight. I'm like, if he's going to be gay, let him be gay. Like, don't be making him straight for 2 seconds. I didn't like that. But I did like the fact that they infiltrated that. I did like the fact that they infiltrated the difficulty of what it's like for your parent to get married to someone that is not your father, and how difficult that transition is. I like the focus that they put on the witchcraft. It wasn't as scary as the first one, because y'all, the first Craft was scary as hell. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. And David Duchovny was really good, but he was creepy, but in a good way creepy. All right, so that's all I'll say about The Craft Legacy. It is streaming right now via Sony Pictures and Blumhouse Productions. But I have the ladies from The Craft, Lovey Simone, Gideon Adlon, Zoe Luna, and Kaylee Spaney. I talked to them about a plethora of things, and they were lovely. So here's that interview with the ladies of The Craft Legacy right now. Take a look and a listen to that. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. Nice to see you again, Lovey. So listen, dolls, I was all about this movie.
Oh, yay.
I loved me some Craft. And I want to know, I know all four of you represent different elements. So I wanted to know what element coincides with your real life personality. I'll start with Zoe.
Definitely air, because I'm as like rebellious and as eccentric as an Aquarius. I'm also like super flaky and super all about art like a Gemini. And then I'm all about love and looking hot like a Libra. So I would definitely say air. But in real life, I'm actually like, well, I mean, this isn't real life, but like my real sign is fire. I'm a Leo.
You were ready for that question. All right, girl. Okay, next, Lovey.
I was gonna say fire. No, it's fire. It's fire. It's fire. I'm a fire sign all the way. I'm very I run through emotions quick and fast, and they burn out kind of just the same. So I would say my element is fire, and I'm very warm colors.
Okay, all right. Gideon.
I guess I can be pretty easygoing and very loud and not all over the place, kind of. I guess that's how it coincides. But I also really feel connected to, honestly, all the other girls' elements too. But definitely air is my more freaky side.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, girl. All right for the freak. And Miss Kaylee.
You would meet me, maybe I feel like I'm earth. I feel like I'm a fire sign in disguise. You have to get to know me. You gotta spend a little bit of time with me to know that I am fiery, I am sassy, and I'm if you wanna go, I'm ready to go. But when you we're like, oh no, she's just chill. She's just watch out though. Watch out.
Okay. Well, speaking of watching out, if you ladies were able to cast a spell, any kind of spell, not necessarily on a person, what kind of spell would you cast and why? And I'll start with you, Kaylee, since I ended with you last.
I think it'd just be tell me the truth. Let's just cut to the chase.
Oh my God, that's such a good one.
I just want to cut out all the dead air and just tell me, what is this? What is our vibe going to be? I mean, it would be very helpful. I have a boyfriend, but with dating, I feel just what's going on.
And having a boyfriend, that'd be helpful in a relationship.
Communication in general.
Okay. Well, Miss Gideon, since you had so much to say about that one, what spell would you cast?
Kaylee and I have been on a very similar wavelength today. I feel like if I answer something, she's like, I was going to say that too. I'm going to choose that because, oh my God, one of the most annoying things is when you know someone's lying and you're like, okay. And I wish I could just be like, and then they're like, yeah, tell the truth.
No, the offices, they're like, you did great. And I'm like,
Lovey. What would your spell be, Lovey?
I think mine would be to put a self-love, like a true self-love spell on people, because then everybody would just attract what they wanted in the first place.
Like attracts like. I like that one. I like that one. And last but not least, Miss Zoe.
I'm a selfish witch, so honestly, I would cast a spell on someone to just like give me money and food and like pay for my lip injections. Like I would do that. I'm for this.
I cannot. Selfish and money and food. I love that. And I love y'all. Congratulations on such a wonderful, wonderful film. Your performances were everything, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Carla.
To keep up with the Curvy Critic, like our page here. Click that subscribe.
Yeah, click that subscribe button. Click that bell. Get them notifications, baby. Those ladies had me rolling, and that was early in the morning that day. So I enjoyed them. Again, you guys, The Craft Legacy started streaming on the 28th, right in time for Halloween. You just one day after Halloween, so you can still catch it. It is produced and out there right now. So let's get to the male part of The Craft Legacy. I asked him about spells, and I asked him about a little project that he finished with my boy Billy Porter called Cinderella. So here is Nicholas Galitz from The Craft Legacy. Take a look and listen.
I wanted to know if you'd ever been involved or been introduced to witchcraft prior to making this film.
It's actually was something very new to me. I'd kind of had a general appreciation about it from afar. And much more sort of its kind of connection with the natural world and less so the sort of ritualistic aspect of it. But I definitely feel like I learned so much more and felt completely ingratiated by it on this project for sure.
Now, if you were gonna cast a spell on someone, what kind of spell would you cast and why?
That's a great question. I think I would. I don't think I would do anything for personal gain. I think that would feel a little too Machiavellian. But I think I would maybe I don't know, just cast a spell on maybe some of the world leaders or just people in power to kind of just be more socially conscious and kinder to each other. I think a little bit of kindness is kind of what we really need in the world right now. So I know that's a really sort of cringeworthy broad answer, but that's what it is.
No, but it's a real answer, and I appreciate that because that's where we are in the world right now. So I appreciate that. It's not cringeworthy if that's what's on your heart in this moment. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. I know that this was a primarily all-women crew, and that your director was a female, and this was her first time out the gate. What was that like for you, having all of that estrogen around?
No, I've actually been very lucky that I kind of was doing the math the other day. I've actually worked with more female directors than I have with male, and I think it's kind of a real testament of the time being on the projects as a craft of the craft from top to bottom. There was just so much diversity and inclusivity, and I think there's been this kind of rebirth in the industry, and I think it's such an exciting time to be making film. You know, speaking to my female co-stars, I think to have such wonderful roles, meaty to really get their teeth into is something, a prospect, a new prospect really in a lot of ways that is so exciting. And I think all of that kind of trickles down from Zoe Lister-Jones, you know, kind of at the top of the pyramid. So I always say, you know, I'm just the small part in this movie, but I just feel so blessed to kind of be included along the way and get to act with such incredible women.
Now, I know you just finished rapping on Cinderella with my boy Billy Porter. I hope y'all had a great time doing that.
It was wonderful. I didn't have much crossover with Billy, but I meet him a couple times, and all I can say, there's this incredible joy and energy that he just is able to transmit through to you, and you end up just kind of feeling giddy by the end of it. It's kind of a very bizarre feeling that I've never felt before, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to make.
Do you feel any pressure in social media, like with Instagram, to have this, speaking of playing a prince and playing the lead, and LGBTQ lead at that, do you feel any kind of pressure via social media and Instagram to put out this perfect image as an actor?
I think there's certainly a notion, I think an archaic notion, that, you know, we have to sort of deify the people who are on screen, and I think a lot of people very much like to kind of associate our on-screen characters with who we are as a people. But I think the way that I try and do things via social media is to just kind of be as candid as possible, because you know, ultimately I think it makes you, it creates a very difficult space and a very steep drop to fall from, I think, if people kind of regard you as this one sort of, you know, impenetrable being, and rather than the humans that I think we really are. So I try and keep it as honest as I can on my social media.
Well, thank you, Nicholas.
Yeah, I had to cut that one a little short because for some reason, the production company that sent me the video, they came in on the bottom half of the screen. So I had to kind of just like make it a little shorter. But thank you, Nicholas, for taking time. Thank you, ladies, for taking time. Yes, Michael B., The Craft Legacy is streaming. It is produced by Focus Features, and it is streaming online right now. Yes, it is out right now. It's been streaming since October 28th. Thank you, Brandon, for the tip about the Peanut specials, all of them being on Apple TV. I knew that, and I will be checking all of them out. I cannot wait. And I know that you were watching, Brandon, I know you were watching the Spider-Man on the Spider-Verse on Netflix, and watching all of the other Spider-Man joints. And I believe there's going to be a new one coming at some point. Not sure when, but I'll stay tuned here and I'll let you know when that's happening. And yes, The Mandalorian, Mando season 2 is all that and a bag of chips. You know, I'm the last of the Star Wars fan. I had that big old leather Star Wars bag that I've shown y'all a zillion times on this show. All right, so moving on. Netflix has a show in theme with the whole Halloween and Black Lives Matter and all of that. There is a movie streaming on Netflix called His House. It stars Wunmi Mosaku, who everybody knows from Lovecraft Country. She's become an household name as a result of Lovecraft Country, and her leading man is Sophie Derisu. And it is written and directed by Remy Weeks. All right, so this is the thing. Jordan Peele has kind of opened that portal for Black people in horror in a way where instead of us becoming defeated and dead at the end or in the middle of the project, we end up becoming victorious and we make it all the way through a film, which I kind of love that. And you all know I say all the time, I'm not the horror doll, and I'm not, but I love things that are like thriller-ish and suspenseful. This one was kind of like horror, thriller, and suspenseful. It basically had this refugee couple in Sudan trying to escape the war there to find a new life in England. And when they get to this new house, it is haunted with some kind of evil lurking beneath the spaces. Child, they are tearing up walls, they tearing up floors, like it's all kinds of things happening. But this is what I love about this film. I love that this couple is trying to take control of their life and not go backwards, very much like we are in this moment in America, where we are trying desperately to vote a regime out that is going to have time going backwards for anybody that is considered other in these United States. So when I watched it, I couldn't, other than the horror and the suspense and the thriller themes, I couldn't help but have that lurking in the back of my mind. And it's a really deep film. It'll make you think about a lot of things, but it is streaming on Netflix right now. It is starring Wumi Musaku. It is written by Remy Weeks, directed by Remy Weeks, and Sophie Derisu is the leading man in it. Please check it out, you guys. It is an excellently produced film by Netflix. It is called His House. Last but not least, I have an interview for you from Forest Whitaker and David Talbert. David Talbert, is a playwright who I used to go see his plays back in the day. As a matter of fact, my good girlfriend Yvette Nicole Brown was in one of his plays. It was called His Woman, His Wife, and it was with Malik Yoba. And Yvette was on the road doing that show. So when I moved to LA, I happened to run into David's wife, Lynn Talbert, which is how I eventually met David. But David wrote and directed Jingle Jangle. It is on Netflix. It will be on Netflix on November 18th, I believe. I'll review that closer to that time. But for right now, they've allowed me to share this interview with you that I did with Mr. Oscar-winning Forest Whitaker and the writer and director, David Talbert. So take a look and a listen to my interview with Forest Whitaker and David Talbert from Jingle Jangle.
What's up?
What's up, David?
What's up? Long time.
Hi, Mr. Forrest. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Okay, so this is my question I got to ask right off the bat. Forest Whitaker, how do you go from getting an Oscar for playing Idi Amin and then singing with them sultry falsetto tones in Jingle Jangle? Because it was lovely. I enjoyed every second of it. You had me up in here crying.
Oh wow, thanks. It was a great opportunity for when David gave me this chance to sing, and you know I'm always trying to keep stretching myself as an artist, and this is a new stretch to be able to sing these songs and do a musical with this kind of scope behind it. It's exciting.
There's a line in the script that says, when you believe in anything, you know, you can accomplish, when you believe you can accomplish anything. Mm-hmm. I want to know from each one of you, who was that person for you that made you feel like you could fly and do anything? And I'll start with Forrest first.
I think it has to be my mom, you know? My mom, she had this thing that she'd say that I don't have to believe in what she believed, but I have to believe in something. And that kind of dictated a lot of things for myself and like sort of a purpose for me in my life, to believe in something that I find something I believe in.
How about you, David?
Mine's my great grandmother, who was a pastor, my best friend on the planet. She's my guardian angel. When I came home to DC, my first play, and I said, Ma, I'm a playwright now. And she was letting me go on. And then she said, you know, baby, Mama don't know nothing about the play business, but what I do know is only what you do for God will last.
Ooh.
And it connects me always to that it's bigger than me. It's not just about me, it's what I'm putting out into the universe, what I'm putting out into the world. And that's always kept me kind of focused, you know, and I attribute that to Annie Mae Woods, that angel. Imagination is everything. I remember as a child, there's one song I remember from a film, and that was Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka, where it says, there's no place I know that compares to pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. We stenciled that on my son's wall when he was born. And the thing that the studio, the exec, Nick Nesbitt, told me right before I was started writing this, after Netflix bought it, he said, don't write the budget, write your imagination. And no one had ever told me that before. Don't write the budget, write your imagination. We'll figure out the budget later.
That's amazing.
And it connected me with everything. And that's how we got what we got. I wrote my imagination.
It's gorgeous. How about you, Forrest?
I think trying to face fear, you know, trying to be able to like realize there's that old saying of like walking into a dark room. It's kind of what I always do, and I never know if a part is going to be right or if I'm learning something unless I have a little fear before I take the step and do that. And then knowing like the quote is about that if there's no floor beneath you, then your wings will carry you through. So I think that's it.
Y'all are some deep brothers.
Forrest, I need to get these quotes. You holding out on me, Forrest. Now you need to text me this stuff after this interview. Now you done dropped 2 big bombs on me. Whoa, I like that.
You dropped every time, David. You can't help yourself. You don't even realize when you're doing it.
I love both of y'all. I'm so happy that you gave me a little slice of your time today. David, you know I've been a fan of yours for a minute, since back in the day. And Forest, Mr. Whitaker, I've been a fan of yours since they screened Bird at Howard University when I was a student there, and probably even beyond that. So it's been my pleasure to be able to talk to y'all.
Carla, I'm gonna tell Lynn that I just talked to you. You know,
I'm talking to Lynn tomorrow.
Okay, you make sure. You know she loves you.
Yeah, I love her too. But thank y'all so much. And I am going to put this out there in the universe right now. This film right here is going to be a Christmas classic. I'm telling you, it had me all up in my feelings. I get choked up talking about it because it really was beautiful. And I loved seeing us in that way, being beautiful and wonderful and creative in ways that we usually only see white people doing. You know what I mean? So I thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you both. Thank you.
Thanks.
I meant what I said about that movie. It comes out on November 18th. It streams on Netflix. It is called Jingle Jangle. Thank you, Forest Whitaker. Thank you, David Talbert. Thank you, the ladies from the craft and Nicholas Galitz. And thank you, Sterling K. Brown, NBC Universal, Michael Geyser for hooking me up yet again with his clients, Lovey and Sterling, and Susan Kalechi Watson, all of those people for letting me talk to them. I love it, love it, love it. And yes, the movie does come out. Jingle Jangle comes out on Netflix on November 18th. So in line with that, I will have David's wife, Lynn, and producing partner, Lynn Talbert, with me next week. I'll be talking to her a little bit further about Jingle Jangle and her role as a producer and being a producer partner and being in a marriage producing mogul marriage. So we get to talk about that. And I may have a guest or two, or it may just be me kicking it. I love how y'all be in the chat room talking about Chucky and horror movies and all that other stuff. Y'all got jokes, but I love you for it. So thank you, Michael B. and Brandon, for always being my ride or dies here at the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. Again, if this is your first time joining me, please give me a big thumbs up on YouTube to let me know you were here. If you have comments, please let me know what they are. If you were watching this on Facebook, give me a big old thumbs up. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I'm so appreciative for everybody that takes time to watch this. I work really hard to bring you quality content and content that I know might be of interest to you in terms of films coming out or films that are already out or films that you don't know anything about. So thank you for allowing me to do that and to come into your homes or your phones or your laptops or your desktops in that way. So until next week, when I have my girl Lynn Talbert from Jingle Jangle, this is your girl, Carla Renata. Love, peace, and hair grease, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye-bye.